If your football team had one option in their playbook, the results probably wouldn't be great. The same could be said for your investments. SIBO index options like SPX and XSP can help expand your investing strategies with cash settlement and potential tax advantages. If you're ready for a more dynamic game plan, head to betterwithoptions.com. SIBO, life is better with options. Your investments could be too. There are risks associated with SIBO company products. Review the disclosures and disclaimers at SIBO.com/US_disclaimers.
This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Who's going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl? Is it going to be the Philadelphia Eagles or is it going to be the Washington Commanders? Guys, welcome to the Eagles Checkdown, right here on the Eagles Pinpoll Podcast Network, the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is, covering news, notes, and opinions. Your favorite team, the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel, found on all social media platforms at Beard A Knowledge, and of course hosting Trending in the AM on the STT Sports Network. Link down below. Guys, it is Friday. It is the 24th of January. We are so close. We are 2 sleeps away from the championship game, our 8th championship game in the last 25 years. And there's lots to dive into as I'm going to give you my final preview and prediction. Heck, with some of the news we're going to talk about, we might have to do another show later this weekend with updates to some of this stuff. So we'll get to that. But first and foremost, before we get to the game, I want to give a shout out. A whole bunch of finalists for awards in the NFL this year were listed, and a lot of Eagles are on this list. Nick Sirianni was not a finalist for Coach of the Year, something I claim and have been talking about for a while he should be getting consideration for. Dan Campbell, Kevin O'Connell, Sean Payton, Quinn, who we're facing this week with Washington, and Andy Reid. They were your finalists. I would have put Nick Sirianni on that list over Reid, but that's just me. Vic Fangio, finalist for Assistant Coach of the Year with Joe Brady, Brian Flores, and Glennon Johnson from Detroit. Fangio's got a damn good chance to win that. I won't be lying there. Zach Bond, finalist for Defensive Player of the Year with Garrett, Surtain, Watt, and Hendrickson. Defensive Rookie of the Year had 2 Eagles, along with Brandon Fisk, Chop Robinson, and Jarrett Burse, who we just took care of last week. Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell are both on that list. Saquon Barkley was a finalist for 2 different awards. Offensive Player of the Year with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry, and Lamar Jackson. And a finalist for MVP with Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, and Lamar Jackson. While I don't think Barkley will win MVP, I do think he's got a darn good chance to win Offensive Player of the Year. Probably should. I think Cooper and Quinn will cancel each other out. Jarrett Verse will probably win Defensive Rookie of the Year, but Quinion Mitchell should be in that conversation. Zach Bond's the interesting one. He can either finish in 5th place or he can win that thing. That's how special of a year he's had. So that's just something I wanted to make sure we shout out all those guys. Again, Nick Sirianni should have been in the finalist list. He's not. Don't think he would have won it or should won it. I would have given it to Dan Campbell. Again, these awards are voted on before the playoffs start, right after the end of the season. So we'll see how that plays out. But anyway, let's get to the game. Sunday, Eagles, 3 o'clock versus the Washington Commanders in South Philly. The weather, it's going to be about 40 degrees. There will be no snow. Weather will be fairly good. There'll be some windy gusts, but mostly pretty calm. It'll be cold by the time the game ends. How do the Eagles win? What do the Eagles got to do to win? The first thing that's most important is who's going to play for the Eagles. And at practice on Thursday, not only were they not participants in the walkthrough on Wednesday, Dallas Goedert and Cam Jurgens did not participate in practice on Thursday. And while Dallas Goedert was out in the field stretching and working off to the side, like Quinion Mitchell was working off onto the side, Cam Jurgens was nowhere to be found. Your starting center was nowhere to be found on Thursday. And I don't know if Eagles fans realize how big a deal if Cam Jurgens does not play on Sunday. It's a huge deal. Huge deal. And why is that? Because Landon Dickerson took all the snaps at center during practice on Thursday. Now, Landon Dickerson has been a center before. He's got 42 NFL career snaps as a center, almost 1,200 snaps in college at Alabama as a center. So he was a great center in college. He was originally drafted probably to be Jason Kelsey's replacement, but then he played so well at left guard. So you're fixing your one hole by creating another hole, and Tyler Steen took all the snaps at left guard. So you're really moving around the offensive line a lot. And how do the Eagles beat the Washington Commanders? They beat them by keeping the ball out of Jaden Daniels' hands, by running the football excessively and quick short passes to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, quick, long drive offense. If this becomes a shootout and you don't have Cam Jurgens out there, that is a major deal. Oddly enough, Cam Jurgens did have one of his worst games of the year on Sunday against the Rams. He gave up 4 pressures and a sack. I wonder if the back was already an issue and he was just playing through it. Now, Landon Dickerson did say after practice on Thursday that he expects Cam Jurgens to play, but what does he know? He's just a lineman. He's not a doctor. That was kind of his wording, not mine. But he does expect him to play, and he doesn't normally take snaps, even in a backup situation in practice. Cam Jurgens missing, that's a big deal. If Cam Jurgens can't go, it is going to be very hard for the Eagles to control the offense and the time of possession with running the football, which is going to put even more pressure on the Eagles defense to control Jaden Daniels. You cannot let Jaden Daniels, get outside the pocket, be explosive, make those big plays with his arm or his leg. Whether we want to admit it or not, Jaden Daniels is having one of the best seasons ever for a rookie quarterback, maybe the best ever. But it's very hard for me to comprehend in my mind that Vic Fangio, having seen him twice this year, plus all the tape on him, is not going to have a great game plan, even without Nakobe Dean out there, to stop him and slow him down. They don't have a huge amount of weapons. They've got Quinion Mitchell. Or they've got Terry McLaurin, but we've got Quinion Mitchell, who is going to be good to go. He was a full participant on the most updated list here that I just got from practice. At first I was hearing that he wasn't practicing much. Well, it looks like he did practice in full. So you got him to lock up Terry McLaurin. You got Brian Robinson. You got Zach Ertz. You got good players. They're missing their starting lineman, Sam Cosmi. The pressure rate for the Washington gave up went up almost 30 points when he came out of the game. So, the defense is going to have to do it. And I'm finding it hard to believe that Vic Fangio will not have a game plan to control and contain. You're not going to stop Jaden Daniels, but you can contain Jaden Daniels from putting up too much. The Eagles need to limit the offensive possessions, and they do that by running the football. Run. Saquon Barkley has almost 300 yards in rushing in the 2 games this year against Washington, but the second half of the last game against Washington, Week 16, he only had about 25 yards. So they found a way to slow him down. You can't let that happen. Jalen Hurts' knee is still an issue. He practiced in full. He should be good to go. But there's still going to be a little pain there. There's going to still be some questions there. But if you control the clock and you keep Jaden Daniels off the field, he can't put up 30 points. He can't put up 36 points. So they need to control him. And so you have to have faith in Vic Fangio, Zach Bond, your Defensive Player of the Year finalist, Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, your Rookie of the Year finalist. You got to have faith that Vic Fangio is going to have that game plan. And I truly believe they will, because I do see the Eagles winning this game 27-23. Now, if this is also assuming that Cam Jurgens plays. If Cam Jurgens gets ruled out tomorrow afternoon, we may have to do an extra emergency Eagles checkdown at some point, and I might change my opinion. But I have faith in this team. I have faith in the leaders of this Eagles team that we will have 2 weeks of prep time and talk time of Eagles in the Super Bowl on this show. 27-23. I do think this will be won by a big play from the Eagles defense, whether it's another Jalen Carter sack, whether it's a Quinion Mitchell interception or a Cooper DeJean interception. Some kind of big defensive play will happen late in the game that will seal this game up for the Eagles. But let me tell you something. Anybody on the Washington side or the Philadelphia Eagles side that is predicting a blowout one way or another, you just might as well stop listening to them, because there's no way that this will be a blowout either way you go, no matter who plays or doesn't play for the Philadelphia Eagles. These are 2 great teams, well-coached teams, disciplined teams that are going to get the job done. The Eagles are going to get the job done on Sunday. They're going to win 27-23. Guys, this is the Eagles Checkdown right here on the Eagles Pinball Podcast Network. Again, make sure you check out Trend in the AM on Friday, 8 a.m., linked below, live. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, STT Sports Network as well. Guys, everybody have a great day. Go Birds. Let's get to the Super Bowl, guys. And bubbles up.